Hey guys, welcome to the daily recap. Here we're going to go over the strategies and psychology behind every trade, and I'm going to try and break down exactly what happened, why it happened, and even try to review my mistakes in order to avoid them in the near future. I hope these recaps are of some use to you, and I would love to hear your recommendations or tips on how I can improve my trades. If you have any questions, be sure to drop them in the comments below. I try to respond to every comment, and eventually I plan on making videos in response to your questions sometime in the near future. If you like the content, please be sure to like and subscribe, as well as turn on notifications, as it really helps my channel grow. Anyway, let's get straight to it. The UPC 1127 is the high of this 1 minute candle. I'm going to buy in here. Break back over 11. I just sold there. Didn't want to break. Okay, so jumping into this trade, I was already doubtful. There was two candles here with high red volume. As you can see here, these two candles had high red volume. This one I just failed, and it made me very doubtful. However, I got in here as it bounced off the 9 EMA, and I was looking for the break of the 1 minute high. However, it was hovering around 1080 around the time which I sold. I decided that, I looked at the 5 minute over here. It was a topping tail doji. Same with the 10 minute. It was more to the downside than it was to the up, and that made me very doubtful in the trade. I also don't typically trade these daily setups here. This is not something I normally trade. And after seeing these two red candles, I just got, very doubtful in my trade, and I decided to sell too quick. As you see here, it popped it to a high of 1142, and I sold basically here at 91 for a 15-cent profit. What could have been, upwards of 50 to 60 cents. I finished with 15 just because of the self-doubt I had in the trade. I also didn't like the candle opening so low. That's another thing that kind of ran me off. I felt it had more ability to the downside compared to the upside, especially when it was struggling within this small range here. It felt a little top heavy coming into 11, but it was just my poor confidence coming into the trade that caused me to sell quick. As you can see here, it later drops and breaks the low, and the stock overall later on ends up failing. That's the break I was looking for. Oh, that would have been a nice break. That would have been a really nice trade right there if it actually broke. I'm buying that dip there. Trying to sell here. Okay. Trying to sell. Sold right there. Jesus, did I really get filled there? 100 on 12.12, I guess. So that wasn't the best outcome I was expecting. And I got filled at 92 as well, which is also a terrible fill. I thought I was in the 70s, so this wasn't even a good trade overall. I thought I got filled right here at 70. That's kind of... Said I got filled at 76. And I was really filled at... Oh, I was filled at 76. Okay, so not a terrible trade, but not the best either. Okay, coming into this trade on WAFU, I was expecting it to do what it did last week. I was expecting a similar move. WAFU traded alongside EEIQ, which I'm about to pull up here. So EEIQ, as you can see, it went from around $12 to the high of $36. It made a huge move, as well as WAFU. Both of those stocks didn't have any pullbacks. After each halt, which this is currently in, it just kept ripping higher. It never had a pullback. A pullback's necessarily, a micro pullback, how you can see here. It pulls back right here, and then it surges higher after that. This is why I bought this dip here. I expected the same move as it made last week. I bought in the dip, went higher, surged higher. I kind of expected it to keep ripping though, similarly to last week. It, in a situation like this, it would go from, 1160 all the way to 1230. Then from 1230, you can expect it to go to 1270, 1350, and then get in another halt. Last week it was halt after halt after halt with no pullbacks, which made it difficult to get in. However, this time I wasn't going to try and miss that opportunity. So here, this was a very sloppy trade. I should have just sold it at the top here, just, gone for my 15 cents profit, my target. Instead I held actually, and I kind of, held through this entire consolidation. I was losing for a little bit, not so much. I was still within my stop loss range. However, I did trade this one kind of sloppy, and I got very lucky and thankful that it didn't break the low of this candle. It actually held support and was able to surge higher enough for me to sell. When I did sell though, I had my original sell price here about I'd say 10-15 cents. However, when I realized that the stock was holding 1160 pretty well and it wasn't breaking lower, I canceled the order right away and was able to sell a little higher around 12.12, and then I think I got filled at 1203 and 1204 as well. So the pattern on this, or the strategy behind this, there really wasn't one. It was just a dip buy, and I was just kind of looking for some similarities in last week's plays. But then again, it wasn't really I guess I wasn't really planning anything in regards to a certain pattern or some sort of layout that I was predicting something. This was strictly just a dip buy after a halt, expecting it to catch a bounce. Also the 5 minute, as you're gonna see, it's gonna end up fading. It's not gonna look very well. 10 minutes still looks pretty good, but overall there was really no strategy behind this, and I got kind of emotional in the middle of the trade as soon as it failed and rejected this level here. I started panicking, and I tried to sell multiple times. As you can see, I canceled multiple orders, and the trade eventually worked out in my favor, but a very risky trade overall. So to wrap it all up, I finished up $158.58. Not a bad start to the week, as I'd say it's pretty fair. I've had bigger days than that. I've also had smaller days than that for sure. So, definitely a good cushion to the week as of right now. We'll go ahead and see how it goes tomorrow. If I don't happen to take any trades tomorrow, I'll go ahead and review the trades that could have taken place, stocks that were in move, or anything in relation. But if I don't happen to take a stock market trade, I'm going to go ahead and take one in the options trading account I have with Thinkorswim. And I will go ahead and break down my analysis through the same, feed here that you're seeing, or through TradingView. I do have multiple charts, so I will go ahead and bring them up and review them one by one as to which trades took place, if any trades took place, and which stocks were moving. If no trades took place, I'll break down what I could have done, stocks that I was debating to get into, things in relation. So overall, like I said, not a bad start to the week, $158. With that, I'm going to wrap it up here. We'll see you back tomorrow. If you like the content, be sure to like and subscribe. I really appreciate it. Take care.